Good evening, good evening, good evening. Super excited to have each and every one of you on the line tonight. I'm actually going to start it off by kicking it off with our phenomenal CSO, who is over there grilling it up, y'all. Oh my goodness, she's got some asparagus on the grill, some salmon on the grill. I'm not going to say this to those who are type A, but for the O's on the call, she's got some lamb chops, okay? We can't have those. I think the B's can have them too. And so we're going to kick it off by sharing with you the vision of Wakana. And I'm going to first introduce our phenomenal CSO. She is our midwife. She is our first diamond, our first double diamond. She is helping us all give birth to unlimited possibilities. Without any further ado, I'm going to first share her screen and then introduce you to the fabulous and amazing and phenomenal Phyllis Nash. If you can share with us Wakana and the Wakana movement.
Oh, you got to love Melissa, y'all. She is going to do what she needs to do no matter what. So, hey, we are out here celebrating Memorial Day, and I am so glad you guys joined us. So, guests on the line, you know you got the hardest working team. We want to get this information to you so that you and your family can have a quality of life with better health. So our vision is we exist to help end the negative stigma that has caused communities around the world to suffer and lose out on the health and wealth benefits of the cannabis plant. Now, our mission, we are a catalyst to serve movement. See, we never thought of ourselves as a company. We always knew we were a movement that inspires people to confidently move into the legal space as entrepreneurs, formulators, and investors, evoking the courage and strength of people to take back their health, wealth, legacy, and freedom. So look at here. These are my other three co-founders, guys. And we're going to start off with Dr. Rita McGuire, who is our Chief Medical Officer. But not only that, she is our pillar of health. And guys, Dr. Rita is an expert in cannabis, asked to testify before the state legislature before they legalize adult use marijuana here in Illinois. Then Patricia Van Pelt, our president. She is our pillar of wealth. She is an evangelist, soon to be fourth term state senator. Nobody's running up against her, so she's got that in, guys. And she is here for us to help teach wealth principles. Melissa Boston, you just heard from Melissa, CEO of our company. Guys, I've known this young lady since 2006, and she had quit her job the day before I met her, quit corporate America. That's right, she fired her boss from a six-figure income in corporate America to go into direct selling so she could have the time freedom to be with the ones that she loves. She became the MVP of 3 companies and built teams in over 46 countries. And I just want y'all to know, she is the drivingest CEO ever meet, but we all love her. And then myself, you heard Melissa share my background. So look at our medical board, guys. This is headed up by Dr. Rita McGuire. And you see, we have every walk of life in the healthcare profession. We have social workers, psychiatrists, psychologists, practitioners. And guess what? They not only use the products, but recommend the products to their patients. Now, think about CBD. It's such a versatile herb. It has gone into so many different things. You're going to see it so many places. We started out in 2019 with CBD. We since added Delta 8. That's a $7 billion industry. Now, how about the hair care industry? That's an $87 billion industry. We have a hair care line. Skincare at 190, essential oils. And when the pandemic came, we had to pivot and bring something to the marketplace that would help protect your immune system. Do you know that's a $3.4 trillion industry? And now weight loss, 288 billion. But guys, with Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0, we getting ready to blow that number up. So here we are, and I'm going to give you back to Melissa Boston so that the lineup right here, you'll see Dr. Eric Prince, our CEO, Melissa, and also Dr. Rita J. McGuire. So thanks for joining us and have a happy and merry holiday.
Wow, Phyllis, that was amazing. I tell you what, let's give it up for our awesome and amazing CSO. She is truly one of the hardest working ladies in showbiz. Love her so much, helping us all to reach our goals and dreams. And just want to again say happy holidays to everyone. I'm so excited you guys joined us today to learn more about the flat belly lifestyle. And we do have an all-star lineup. So I'm going to jump right into tonight's presentation. And so, yes, my first question for everyone, do you know your blood type? Are you curious to know what's happening on the inside of your body? When we think about the statistics and how it's affected our community, in fact, African Americans, we are disproportionately impacted by almost every chronic and fatal disease. In the area of preventative medicine, certain technological advances have not been widely made available to our community. And so what's exciting tonight is we're not going to just talk about health principles. We're not going to just talk about things you can do to lose weight and be healthier. We're going to talk about your blood type. We're going to talk about what's happening on the cellular level of your body and really give you the information you need to take your life to the next level. When you think about the leading causes of death here in this country, back in 2020, this is the top 10. We're talking about heart disease, cancer, COVID-19. In fact, these are diseases so many of us have lost loved ones to prematurely. But when we think about preventative medicine, we have to think about energy. In fact, Albert Einstein said the future of medicine is energy medicine. I want you to think about that for a second. See, we've been treating ourselves and going to the doctors and getting treated with chemicals. And we know that chemicals have so many side effects, so many consequences. When you think about energy medicine, energy is natural and it's really just utilizing our own body to heal itself. When we think about the power of our body really has an innate ability to repair, to renew, to regenerate. And do you know that until death, our cells renew themselves? In fact, the human body is made of trillions of cells. These cells are growing, they're splitting, they're regenerating, and yes, they do die. For adults, do you know that we have about 25 million cells that divide every single second? Our blood cells renew at a rate of 100 million per minute. In fact, our Bioscan is analyzing this very phenomenon because when you think about cell division, when you think about cell renewal, the body's actually emitting electronic wave signals. It's these signals that can actually determine whether the body is healthy or unhealthy. And do you know that these signals, we compare those with the spectrum of disease, nutrition, and other indicators of irregularities. And that's really where you find yourself on the Bioscan as it relates to red, yellow, blue, or green. It's really about the health that your own cells are sending. And so we don't want to reach the point of no return. When you really think about the healthiest humans on the planet, they have 100% energy reserve. Medical doctors can first recognize sickness at 30%, but the point of no return is 4%, and death represents 0%. And so our Bioscan is a quantum analyzer. And I do want to share briefly with you our disclaimer, especially for those of you who are under the age of 18. Do know that some of our products do contain cannabinoids. Our flat belly lifestyle phase 2 and 3, if you just use our 3 products for the cleanse, they actually have no cannabinoids, no CBD, so it's just pure herbs and nutrition. But if you are pregnant or nursing, make sure you do talk with your doctor, especially if you also have a serious medical condition, and know that these tests are for reference only and are not considered a diagnostic conclusion. And so let's look more into the Bioscan. It was actually invented in China by a team of medical and computer experts. In fact, it was developed based on the study of over 100 million clinical cases over the period of many, many years. The accuracy rate of our Bioscan is between 85 and 95%, and it only takes a couple of minutes to produce the desired results. We do want to issue a cautionary warning because know that our products are made and shipped directly from the original manufacturer, but there are products that are on the internet that could be bad copies of the original product with old generation and pirated software and viruses. So tonight, there's a special subject that we want to cover because as we're traveling the country, as we're sharing this education, we're noticing there's certain trends that we're seeing all over the country. I mean, we've been to Houston, Texas, and Dallas. We've been to Boston, Massachusetts, Louisiana, and everywhere we're going, we're seeing this epidemic of a disease. And in fact, the experts are calling it the worst disease you've never heard of. In fact, Cedars-Sinai says it often appears without symptoms, and it's frequently misdiagnosed. It affects nearly a third of all adults and can quietly progress to a life-threatening state. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and so that's the name of the disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's on the rise. And we can actually measure the degree of fat that's happening in your liver, because when you look at a liver and you notice that it's accumulating excess fat, this actually causes damage to the liver. And we want to reverse this. And so this is actually an example of a Bioscan liver report card from one of our clients. In fact, she's age 59 years old, and she did not know that she was dealing with fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it's a potentially fatal condition. It wreaks as much damage to our liver as would a bottle of vodka every single day. I want you to think about that for a second. We've always heard about alcohol and how there's so many negative consequences, how it can destroy our liver. And so just know that it does destroy our liver, but the food we're eating, because we have so many fast food restaurants, we're eating so much fried food on every corner, it's destroying our liver even faster than our alcohol consumption. And so this is a disease that unfortunately it's on the rise, and we're seeing it in younger and younger people. It affects 80 to 100 million people just here in the United States, and that's according to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. Do you know that about 16 million people of that 100 million have a more aggressive form, and this is known as the silent killer? And for some of them, do you know that it actually develops into cirrhosis of the liver? And just to kind of summarize really what that means, can you imagine someone who's never drank alcohol in their entire life, and they end up with cirrhosis of the liver just as if they were drinking a bottle of vodka every single day? So this is something we need to teach our kids about, because we're seeing this in younger and younger kids, and there's various stages. And so what's great about our technology, it's going to allow you to really see the health of your organ so that you can know and make corrective measures and corrective steps right here and now. Because, cirrhosis doesn't just develop overnight. See, there's actually clues and there's signals that we can see so we can know if the liver is healthy. But imagine if the liver is already getting to fatty liver state. And the good news about fatty liver, it's completely reversible. But imagine what happens if we don't check that fatty liver, if we don't find out that we even have it, and we start making different decisions. What happens if we don't do that? It's going to lead to liver fibrosis. This is where scar tissue starts to form. And now it starts to injure and cause damage to the liver. And our liver gets to the point where some of that damage is not able to now be repaired, because the scar tissue starts to make the liver very hard. And so once you get to the level of cirrhosis, the only way to resolve that is through an actual liver transplant. And that's why we are so passionate. I mean, here we are, it's Memorial Day weekend. We're here with our awesome Sylvia Covington. She's one of our phenomenal, team members at Wakana. We're celebrating with some of our top staff members. But guess what? We're taking the time to be on this call right now, because we just know that even if it's one life that we change, because someone hears something that helps them to go in a different direction, because we don't want to end up now allowing our fatty liver to lead to heart disease, to lead to diabetes, to lead to kidney failure. See, the liver actually helps us to regulate blood sugar. When there's too much fat in the liver, it's going to lead extra glucose in the blood, because now the liver is no longer able to assist the pancreas in actually regulating insulin. See, the pancreas is releasing the insulin, but it's the liver that actually regulates that. And so if you're suffering from different diseases, whether it's diseases that involve your gut, whether it's heart disease, whether it's gastrointestinal diseases, just know that the point of contact for your body to really filter out a lot of the bad things happening is the liver. If the liver's not operating properly, it's only a matter of time before chronic disease starts happening. Because again, it doesn't just stop with fatty liver disease. When we think about the fact that in this country, we live in literally the richest country in the world. But how is it that we're suffering the consequences of disease even more than third world countries? I mean, when you think about that in this country, every 30 seconds, someone is getting their leg amputated. I don't know how many times we've been through 30 seconds on this call, but during this call, just think about the people that have actually faced and experienced an amputation, and 85% of these are from diabetes. Do you know that diabetes is more than 95% preventable? We do recognize that a lot of times we think of things as being predisposed because of hereditary, but it's really because we also pass on, not just certain genes, but we pass on our diet and lifestyle. See, there's something called epigenetics. And epigenetics means that we have the ability to control what happens to us by 70%. So we can choose what genes express themselves by our diet and lifestyle. Because the bottom line is the high sugar levels that are hanging around in our blood are going to eventually cause the kidneys to overwork. And then the kidneys overwork, and now we have kidney damage. And this kidney damage leads to kidney failure. And so we can even start to see the signs of this damage to our kidneys on the Bioscan. Many times when we do the Bioscan, we see excess levels of uric acid. And if you see extra levels of uric acid where it's elevated, whether it's the blue, the yellow, or the red, it basically means you're on your way to gout if you're not already there. And then when we see the proteinuria, this means that the kidneys are now actually having to work so hard that protein is ending up in our urine. And do you know that this very phenomenon causes kidney damage? And so if you've looked at your Bioscan, and if you already see blue, that's the beginning stage of kidney damage. At yellow, now it's moderate. At red, it now means it's severe. Whatever is going on in your cells will affect your organs, which causes alarms to go off when you treat signs and symptoms and you don't treat the root cause. And that's a quote from Dr. Eric Prince, our very own naturopathic doctor. And I know that so much of this, unfortunately, it's by design. When you think about the fact that they're loading our neighborhoods with fast food and fried food on every single corner. They're bombarding our children with these commercials that we consider to be predatory. Do you know that in places like France, they do not allow these big corporations to advertise during cartoons and shows that we know are targeted to kids? Because it's unacceptable for kids to go, to Walmart, to go to these different grocery stores, and then they fall out because they want certain foods that they're being marketed to. And unfortunately, these are the very foods that are leading them to early diabetes. I mean, we now see that in this country that if our children are African American or Hispanic, they have a 1 out of 2 chance of having diabetes in their lifetime. We've given birth to the first generation of children that are predicted to have a shorter life span than their parents. And so it's unacceptable. We've got to be the change by showing our family the way. They're creating trillions of dollars, right, off of our pain. And when we think about some of the healthier alternatives, because oftentimes we think, well, let's just eat a turkey sandwich, or maybe we eat some lunch meat. But they're loading our lunch meat with nitrates. Nitrates is a preservative. It actually helps to maintain the lifespan of that meat. But unfortunately, the consequences of using a preservative like this is, do you know that it escalates your risk factors for cancer? People that eat tons of these type of lunch meats and tons of these types of meats, do you know that their risk factor for colon cancer increases exponentially? And so we've got to get our kids off of this processed lunch meat, because we're seeing more and more of our family members in their 20s and 30s developing polyps, which lead to full-blown colon cancer. And a lot of this is because of our very food supply. And it's the World Health Organization now that's telling us this. They're now telling us that the bacon, the sausages, the hot dogs can cause cancer. They're letting us know that it also extends to beef, to veal, to lamb. These are probably carcinogenic to people, because they've got to put those preservatives. And so you want to go to places where you can actually find nitrate-free meat in the event that you just decide that this is what you want to eat. Because the bottom line is this: if you look to the left, it tells us that they're putting processed meats in the same category, risk factor, as smoking cigarettes and asbestos. We know how deadly both of those are. How could it be the very lunch meat we put in our children's lunchbox, the very bacon that we cook for our children, thinking we're nourishing their body, is contributing to cancer rates going out of control, just like asbestos and smoking cigarettes? And the bottom line is, if we don't know, if no one's ever told us this, then guess what? That just means we're ignorant to the fact. But once we know better, we've got to do better, because we don't want to be the willing participants spending money on food we know is killing us. In fact, we call this suicide. We are digging our very graves with our own fork. In fact, I talked about that in the book called Proper Diet, and unfortunately, it is our children who are really paying the price. We do bioscans of people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and do you know that oftentimes we see their scan looks better than some of the children that we're scanning, that are 15, 16 years old. And so we've got to put the brakes on this. We've got to look at how we were raised. Many of us were raised when we had gardens. Perhaps it was the onions and the bell peppers and the cucumbers, right? We had fresh food. And do you know that when we go do workshops in certain neighborhoods, some of these kids have never even seen a cucumber. Some of them have never even seen broccoli. And so we cannot consciously resolve our health issues on the same mental level that we unconsciously use to create them. We've got to do something different. And when you really start dialing in on blood types, know that one person's food could be another person's poison. So it gets even deeper than just poor food choices. We've got to look at this even bigger, because sometimes you might think you're doing everything right. There may be some of you on the line right now, you're doing everything right according to what you think is healthy, but you're still suffering disease. Why is that? And so we're so excited to also talk to you about what it means to eat according to your blood type. Because the bottom line is, we can eat food that's incompatible with our very blood type because of the protein lectins. And these protein lectins, when they go against our blood type, they target our kidneys, our liver, our brain, our stomach. In fact, it's time for us to start choosing to live our best life, to learn what's happening at the cells, to learn our blood type so that we can have the freedom to travel, and experience the world on our terms. We can spend that time with our family. We can see our grandchildren, not only grow up, but, graduate high school and graduate college and live their life. We can have the time to do the things we want to do and not the things we have to do. And so it's time for us to live our best life. And so tonight, because it is holiday, I know we don't have our full staff on today. And so normally at this point, we would hear from Dr. Rita, but we want to always give her proper praise. But Dr. Rita, she is so phenomenal. She's our CMO. She's an OB-GYN. She really helps manage, and she is actually in charge of our medical division, our quality, our compliance, and she is our pillar of health. So thank you, Dr. Rita, for all you do. Enjoy your holiday. But one of the things that I want to just share for those of you who've never had a chance to really learn your blood type, perhaps you know your blood type, and I would love to just see on the line who already knows their blood type. But if you know your blood type, if you can actually just let us know what your blood type is. Are you a blood type A? See, I'm a blood type A. And blood type A, we represent the agregarians, okay? We're supposed to eat more of a vegetarian diet, okay? And so there's a lot you need to learn, because if you're a blood type A and you've been eating like a blood type O your whole life, because that was my story, a blood type A, but my mom's a blood type O, even my son is a blood type O. My grandmother, who she's always been my shero, but guess what? She's a blood type O. So I've eaten a blood type O my whole life. And as a result of that, I almost died twice, one before the age of 20 and once before the age of 40. And so it's important, it's critical that you know your blood type. And so if you know your blood type, let us know. We want to know who our A's are, who our B's, who our AB's, who our O's, because at the end of the day, as an A, you need to avoid most animal meat. You need to even avoid things like bananas As a blood type B, you need to avoid your avocados, your black beans. Chicken is actually toxic to the blood of a blood type B, so it's important that you know that. Shrimp is toxic not just to blood type B, but also blood type A. If you're AB, you're going to share some of the characteristics of an A and a B. And for the O's on the line, don't think you've escaped all of this, okay? Because for you, you're going to need to avoid avocados, dairy, most grains, and even white wine. So we get more into blood type eating once you decide that you want to take it to the next step and be a part of our program. We also invite you in, to visit one of our nearest wellness coaches near you to get your initial 15-minute bioscan. In fact, some chiropractors and some naturopaths will charge you as much as $850 to get this done. We do this for free. We give you 4 report cards for free. Now, if you want to pay for more, we actually charge just $29.95 for the full report, okay? And then for the advanced coaching, it's actually included in our product packs. And so let's look real quick at some of our product packs. We have our phase 3, which is our 21-day raw cleanse. And that's going to actually allow you to start to address some of the issues we're experiencing. When we think about why disease happens, there's really 4 reasons why we're plagued with disease. In fact, I'm going to say 5. So we're going to say 5 reasons. The first reason is because our cells and our blood, we're not getting enough oxygen. So when oxygen is no longer able to go through the system and the body, that's where real disease, occurs. But also too, mucus. Some of us are dealing with a lot of extra mucus, whether it's in the lungs, it's in the brain, but it causes mental fog. It causes a lot of issues with bronchitis, and so mucus is always, a thing where it never needs to be excess, but also too many toxins. And if you've ever eaten meat ever in your life, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have some issues with your colon if you don't go on a cleanse. We got to clean out that meat because meat has no fiber. And if you cook your meat, especially if you overcook your meat, and a lot of times we love our meat to be well done. And unfortunately, that makes it very difficult for the meat to leave your body. So many times when they do autopsies of people that die from colon cancer, they have undigested meat that's been sitting in their colon, rotting for 4+ years. Think about that for a second. And so those reasons are reasons we experience disease, but we also experience disease because we're deficient. We don't have enough vitamins and minerals. And then the final reason we get disease is because the body becomes very acidic. And so with our system, we're really addressing that. Our phase 3, we're going to address in our product 1, the eliminator. That's going to remove the mucus and parasites. Product 2 is the purifier. It's going to help clean out that colon. It's going to help detox those organs. Product 3 is the regenerator. It's designed to help heal those cells, to nourish those cells with nutrients. And all of this is going to help bring more oxygen to the tissue. It's going to help the body become more alkaline. And that's why we're seeing these phenomenal results with our products. And so what I want to do real quick, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our awesome and amazing diamond director. And, we love showcasing, success. And this is an individual who his group has produced in 1 calendar month. We're talking not just 100,000, but hundreds of thousands of dollars of sales, because he's so passionately committed to helping people change their life. Okay, he is not only a diamond director, he is a gold dispensary, he is a founding member, but he's a father, a husband, a minister, an entrepreneur. And so without any further ado, Willie Diamond Mooney, if you can go ahead and take it away, sir.
Hey, Melissa, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am here, yes.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? So excited to be here today. Man, this season has just been phenomenal. I share with you. Man, I have so many different stories that I could share, but for now, I'm going to hold my peace just for the sake of time, because I know this is a season of reverence, a season of celebration as well, a season of enjoyment. And I have just so many different things, but I know you want to get back to it. I hope that we are inspiring you to make some different choices and some different decisions in your life. Let me start this slideshow right quick. So my name is Minister Willie Mooney, and I tell you, I've had a shift. Even my shopping today for tomorrow, for this particular time frame, for the summer is just totally different. Why is it different? Because, man, I'm tired of walking around like I'm pregnant with 2 babies at 10 pounds each. I'm tired of walking around like I'm pregnant with a baby mammal. Yes, I said it. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then really tune in to what Melissa Boston just shared and what I'm about to share and show you. Yes, yes, yes. When I say I was pregnant, now that triple X, double X shirt hid it very well, right? But no longer do I have to hide anymore. You all, I used to go to the swimming pool or the beach and I would not take off my shirt. Not at all, not ever, ever, ever. I can hear Chris Tucker in my head, don't ever, ever, ever do that again. Or the kids pointing and saying, Mama, please have them to put on a shirt. But this is me in Hawaii where I had just an amazing time, amazing moment. And I felt real good taking off my shirt because I got a flat belly. And let me tell you, we don't make any claims, you heard Melissa Boston say, to treat, cure, mitigate, or diagnose any disease. But we try our best to live by example. I think with testimony and showing that we actually are walking the walk and not just talking the talk, and then giving you living proof and giving you understanding of everything that we have maybe been told, but actually what we have experienced. I'm a cancer survivor, you all, and I don't take anybody who's been through anything, right? Anything that they might say, I wouldn't want my worst enemy to go through that. Well, I definitely don't take that lightly. And I mentioned cancer because there's a word that I'm going to use, and I constantly use it just to make sure that I portray to you how we should be thinking. And most of us need a reset. We need a kickstart. We need a start over or any of those words. Sometimes we may use the word 40-day fast, right? Sometimes we may use the word detox. We may use the word cleanse or flush or whatever. But let me tell you, if you don't know what's going on the inside of your body, pretty much you don't even know where to start to use even those words. But I use the word reset. So our flat belly lifestyle gives you that basic spark because most of you, that basic start, you don't even know what your blood type is. You don't even know what's going on the inside of your body. And how do I know? Because there's conversations, and those were the words that was asked of me when I didn't know. You all know that I had a couple blood transfusions. You can only imagine my platelet count getting low, right? Due to leukemia, cancer, platelet count getting low, and I needed a couple bags of blood and didn't know my blood type. Well, what is that? But the doctors knew. Well, let me go on with it. So maybe you don't know your blood type. So what I've been exposed to is changing my colors, you all. Let me point out to you. You see them colors at the bottom of the screen. Now, they can scare certain people. But I tell you, where there is a God, he always sends help. And he sent my doctor, I call him my doctor, right? My doctor now, because of his exposure. Let's make that clear, right? Not because necessarily of the title, but I looked at and he showed me the proof of what I was going through and able to portray to me what millions are going through. And to the left is my scan, right? And to the right is my scan after my scan. And I say there's been great improvement. Another woman of God, as I would say, another doctor spoke into my life and said to me where I was, and through her influence and through his influence, I'm not in the same place that I am. So some people may look at that and say, well, you know what?
Change your screen, honey.
Huh?
Change your screen. Can't see your.
You can't see my screen? Is it anybody else not seeing my screen? Can everybody see the screen that I'm showing? Cardiovascular.
It's not moving for some reason, Willie. It's not moving.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, y'all can hear us?
Hold on.
Yes, it's stuck on a screen.
Okay, maybe it's my signal. Hold on, let me try this again. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, now we can see it.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, all right, okay. Thank you. I'm just rambling away. Okay, so you can see my results to the left, you all, where I just wasn't doing too good. Let me just put it in that area. You know, cholesterol. I wasn't working out, you know, leading towards having thick blood. I mean, really, I was eating animals. Let's just keep it playing. And I wasn't eating according to my blood type. I didn't even know what that was. But so amazingly, Melissa Boston, Dr. Eric, Melissa Boston came into our lives, and she had already started my family on a certain direction. And not by coincidence. I just believe God sends people. And he sent to our dispensary Dr. Eric Prince, my fraternity brother. So I had the ability to listen to what he said and change my life. So you do see more green on the right, and I'm proud of that. One thing that he looked at me in his sarcasm and he said is that, hey, Moon, you haven't been working out. I hate the workout, right? But I'm proud of myself that I'm taking it to another level, and I have started working out, right? So I'm going to give myself a round of applause. So with that being said, we have 3 approaches, right? Not everybody, when I talk about reset, you got to know where I'm coming from with that. When I talk about the word reset, or I want to restart, you know, chemotherapy, you all, was something that happened in my life, and radiation to the brain, where it totally entered my body and wiped out everything good and bad, right? And I sat in remission, waiting for the reset, waiting for my body to produce normal white blood cells and red blood cells. Waiting to get normal. Let me just say that. And I don't even know what normal is, but that's why I call chemotherapy and radiation a reset. So phase 3 to me is a reset. Let me just say that. Now, phase 1 is somebody that's not totally ready for the reset, but you might want to experience a good time this summer, right? And have a little weight loss. I'm seeing it like this. This is Minister Mooney keeping it real with you. So you might want to lose a couple little pounds and continue to eat the meat and continue to eat cooked, or continue to eat, but a little better, being plant focused. Like you focusing on getting there, but you're not there yet. That's phase number 1, right? And we can assist you get there. Phase number 2 says, 21-day raw. I'm not just ready for that yet. I'm not ready. Wait a minute, Minister Mooney. Wait a minute. 21 days, that's a long time. Now, you know, I'm not going to debate with you, but I say, okay, what about 7 days? 7 days, we go raw, we go totally plant-based, right? For 7 days, and let's see what the outcome is in 7 days. And most people say, man, in 7 days, I've lost, right, about 10 pounds, 12 pounds, minimum 7 pounds of waste. I think that's pretty good. Of waste, not weight, of waste, right? And then, of course, phase 3 is saying, man, let me just take it to the head. Let me just take this juice for 21 days. Let me eat this salad, kelp noodles, so many different things that I'm going to share with you. What I love about our program is support. Man, let me tell you, I love the fact I see my wife supporting so many people. I love that I see so many new coaches, Paula G, Minister Ernestine, even our CEO. I see how passionate we are of creating a platform where everybody has support, right? You hear me talk about this train all the time. Well, I see this new train now. Everybody gonna be on this train looking fine and young. Let me tell you. Now, to get on this train, you need to go to flatbellylifestyle.com. That's the first piece. Information is key. And I think this is a great hub, a great source where you can go to this website and you can download a free ebook. Sometimes, let me not go there. I can go different places. But we're giving it to you for free. We're giving you information so you can see what you may have been doing wrong because you didn't know. And not knowing how to eat according to your blood type is detrimental. That's horrible. So we can also get with the person that invited you if you don't know your blood type. Go on their website, order a blood type test kit. Find out right now. You may be eating the barbecue or whatever. I ain't even just talking about meat. You may be eating the avocado this weekend and it's toxic to your blood. You hear what I'm saying? You may be eating a banana. Minister Mooney, bananas And avocados are healthy, but it may be healthy for one person, but toxic for you. Get that ebook and you'll know what I'm talking about. You can also join the community if you have any questions. And let's just say you're here, you have a contact or you don't have a contact, but you want to be super nosy, you go to the Facebook page, put your phone up, scan that barcode and be nosy. Y'all, I'm telling you, we ain't nosy enough. You see something positive happening with people and you don't want to get the information, that doesn't make sense. You see some people going in the right direction when you've been going wrong, you better sneak up to their window or something and take a peek or grab them by the hem of their garment because you see they heading in the right direction. That is our Facebook page. Y'all might say, this dude ain't wrapped too tight. I told you, I had radiation to the brain. So if you hear anything you don't like right now, that's where I'm coming from. But anyway, I love our community. Although I'm in the community, there are many of people that are not just like me. So you can get whatever you need in the community of a coaching community, a phase 3 community, a phase 2 community, and a phase 1 community where you can still go to the website, ask all the questions that you like. Wakanda is not a specter of person, and neither is our flat belly lifestyle. Our plant-based flat belly lifestyle is such not a respecter person that I love the fact that Dr. Eric is one of our older brothers, but even some of us young brothers and their sisters and mamas and aunties, I mean, it is off the chain. We've been able to expose people to this particular platform. I mean, old friends that I haven't seen in years. I'm so touched by the number of people that we come in contact with, and most of them, all of them, co-workers, friends. I mean, everybody that I'm coming, cousins. This is my cousin here, y'all. And it's one of my good friends that I just met. This is his wife, and just so many different people. Rashawn, cousin. We have Diamond in the making to the left, right? Crystal Rock, just so many different people. Let me tell you, it's not a respectful person. I don't care who you are. If you want to, and I'm not even just talking about weight loss. I know I'm showing this because sometimes people need to see the proof in the pudding. Let me tell you all, is that this waste management system called the plant-based flat belly lifestyle is going through homes and is running better than your sewer system and your water system in your home. I'm telling you, y'all look at me. Y'all see that last picture? Y'all heard me say, I don't like to work out. I say that for a reason because I see so many hamsters on the wheel. I see so many people in the gym and they just doing push-ups and everything, and the midsection ain't been budging. Y'all, look at that. This is without me doing sit-ups, nothing, and the baby is gone. Let me tell you, I'm wearing a size large. Let me tell you, I just love eating plant-based. Now, people probably, I wasn't saying that 3-4 months ago. Because I looked at Eric and was like, I'm not trying to be no vegan. You can talk to Melissa and tell them all that you want. But it wasn't until I saw my skin and I saw my wife's skin that I decided to shift. And she's so excited. My wife is a foodie. I'm a foodie, but I mean, I married a foodie, y'all. And I'm telling you, we've already planned out what we're eating for Memorial Day. And I'm going to tell you, what about some brats? Y'all think, and with some kimchi. I'm giving y'all a recipe. Brats, kimchi, mustard, and making your own bread. And tasting just like it came off the grill. I know your mouth is watering. I know your mouth started watering when I put this on the screen. You've never seen plant-based look this good. Some people might say, is it just vegetables? Is it just juice? No, well, for the cleanse, let me tell you, the upper right-hand corner, the bottom right-hand corner, the middle, in the bottom, and to the left. So the two to the top on the right, those are cooked, but they are still plant-based. Amazing. That look like chicken on the top, don't it? That is cauliflower. Look, y'all, that is French fries with cheese, loaded fries. But it's not what you think. It's not dairy. And we made it ourselves. And then that bottom, I love the soups. See, God put everything down here that we need, especially health. Everybody needs health. Discipleship is health. Ministry is health, right? Now we call this helps Like, I think if you reach one, you teach one, you're helping somebody. But we have a platform that we call coaching and being a wellness coach. And there's so, you all, would you believe in a matter of, I want to say 3-4 months, we already started this program and we have 150 wellness coaches. Now I see it's already gone exponential. So we allow for the average person, if they're willing to be compliant and follow a format, right? You have to go through the 21-day cleanse. You have to purchase our coaches wellness pack. You have to attend coaches certification, right? Bioscan training, and you have to pass an exam. You will receive a certificate. Now, unfortunately, but maybe fortunately on the financial side, but unfortunately, right? There is a cost to be a boss, right? To whom much is given, much is required, but to whom much is required from, even more is given. I love the help. I love being paid to help people. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not running from it. I will, and I see your hand raised, Doris. Let me tell you, I love that we reap what we sow. I love that I know the master's ways. And if he gives me a talent, he expects me to multiply that talent. And I am that 5-talent dude. I'm not the 2-talent dude. I'm not the 1-talent dude. But let me tell you, he's not a respective person. If he'll do it for me, he'll do it for you. And I believe there are a lot of people out there who want to help a lot of people. What kind of pays you for that? Now, I say fortunate, but unfortunate. If you're brand new, the cost is $2,500 to be a wellness coach. And there's some people out there who were able to be blessed because they took advantage of an early bird opportunity. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude by asking you, what are your next steps, right? Get with the person that invited you. If you don't know your blood type, that's major. You should be asking yourself, am I sure about my blood type? Do I know it? Ask the person, and they don't have to go down the whole long list. But let me say, if you're blood type O and you're eating cauliflower, you don't know. And if you're blood type B and you eating chicken or avocado, you still don't know. And if you're blood type A and you eating meat, period, and you're an agregarian, oh my God, we got to get you in as soon as possible. But let me say, step number 1 is know your blood type. Step number 2, what's going on the inside of your body? How many times have you been to your primary care physician? And I'm not throwing anybody up under the bus. I just know a lot of times some people don't know. And even the people who you go to may not know. You may, and let me just say it, this is me saying this, you may be I went to my primary care physician and looked and was like, I know she don't know nothing about health the way she look at, excuse me for saying that, that's me saying that. But anyway, you may be going to the person and they just don't know. They're good at what they do, but they may not know. So number 2, and Melissa, we're not sharing this recording, but number 2, what's going on the inside of your body? How many times do you hear there's something going on, but we don't know what it is, and we're testing to find out what it is? Come and get a bioscan. Let's get to the point. That bioscan generates you all 40 different reports, 99 pages, right? But we're going to cover 4 areas, which are some of the top killers in the world. But let me tell you, you can find out right now, and you can get a resolve. You can get help. And number 3, you don't have to wait. Go to the person's website. If anything that I'm saying or that Melissa Boston just shared makes sense to you, go to the person's website and get what you need. You don't have to wait. You already know. Maybe your doctor then already told you you're dealing with arthritis. You're dealing with inflammation. You have high cholesterol. You're on blood pressure pills. It's so many different things that I could say. You already know. So why know and not do anything about it? That's insanity. But anyway, with that being said, you all, there's something that's happening, and we like to show proof that it's happening. So as time goes on, you'll see in the next 18 months, we're going to expose so many people to knowing what their blood type what their blood type is by either bringing them to the dispensary, or they're going to a wellness coach in their town, in the state near you. I mean, I know Atlanta has wellness coach. Texas has Michigan, Indiana, Louisiana. I mean, wellness coaches are popping up everywhere through the Wakanda platform, and we are on a mission, and I call it discipleship. Reach one, teach one. We're going to teach everybody and expose to everybody, as many possible, 1 million people minimum, what is their blood type. And by them having that information alone, we know that lives will be changed. So with that being said, I want to pass it back to Melissa Boston. I haven't looked to see who's all participating here. Let me stop.
Hey, I think Eric's on too, Willie. We're actually.
He is. Okay.
Yeah,
so bring him up.
Yes. So maybe a good time for some Q&A. I mean, we have what looks like 40 people on almost.
All right. Love it.
They're interested. It's Memorial Day because they want to learn.
All right. So you all, this is the time where we allow for you to ask your questions. So I'm going to look in the chat, and if you all, okay, here we go. I see him. Let me go here. Okay, Dr. Eric, you're there. Are you there? I can't hear him. Hey, Dr. Prince, Eric, Frat, go Mark. Yo.
So I think he's there. So Eric, we see you. 1 second.
Okay.
He might have issues with his video or something.
Right here.
1 second.
Let me see. I see him, but it looks like it's frozen. Okay, looks like it popped out. So let me look at the first question that I'm seeing. Hold on. Excellent question. How do I get a full report if I got a scan and bought the Flatberry Cleanse? The 3 products. Okay, if you have bought phase 3, there's ask a person that you're connected with to send you to, I think it's on the Flatbelly, it is, the flatbellylifestyle.com page. Let them guide you where you can actually fill out the form so you can receive that free Bioscan report. And that free report only comes with phase 3. Is that correct, Melissa?
The free report comes with phase 3. That's correct.
Yep. And you can go to the website. Look at Melissa looking like she.
I can bust them out. I'm Willie. I'm in front of Christian, Emil, Phyllis.
Hey.
We're at a barbecue for Memorial Day, and I'm eating my vegetables, guys.
All right.
But Christian, we're not gonna bust you out.
Love it.
But there's a question about the actual. It talks about chicken and shrimp. So I'm assuming this is somebody that's new to hearing this for the first time, and they're hearing that chicken and shrimp is not good, and we're trying to figure out how can we keep it. And maybe it's the fried version that's bad. Now, Willie, you're blood type B, which means you should not be eating chicken. And it's actually the lectins in chicken. So it doesn't matter if it's fried. It doesn't matter if it's boiled. It does not matter if it's baked. The chicken has lectins in that are incompatible with your blood type. So can we kind of confirm to the person asking, can maybe I bake it and it makes it better for me?
Right.
Are you able to
say
eat chicken at all as a blood type B?
Blood type. Yep.
Right.
So is that chicken like fried? That is all chicken. And let me say for blood type B, right? And let me break it down. Blood type B, we can't have according to your blood type, as she spoke about the protein lectins. It's toxic. Now this is me saying this, and I have to always say this. This is me saying this. And this meat is toxic. This period. I don't care if it had. I'm gonna say it to you like this, and this is my latest revelation. If it has eyes, right, and I'm throwing everything in the category that has eyes. If it has eyes, and I'm gonna put this on a platter, wooden platter, and you gotta grab a knife, cut its head off in order for it to close its eyes, cook it to get rid of the blood because you don't like medium rare or you don't like fish blood, right? You got to cook it to make the blood go away, to make sure it's edible. And even if you didn't cook it, right, some people can handle it that way, but it might get mucousy if you leave it out, and inflammation and fat and cholesterol. You want to eat that? That sounds kind of toxic. That sounds nasty. You get my point? So it's toxic, period. Now, according to your blood type, B's, we not supposed to have it. O's, it might be on the list saying that you can tolerate it because you have stomach acid, because you probably came from the people of Noah on the ark, and that's all that was on the boat was animals. You know, maybe you could tolerate it a little bit better. Don't mean you should have it, right? So I had to say it that way. So if you're considering eating meat, listen to what I just said, all right? And Dr. Prince is back.
I'm back.
Right? I want him to chime right in on that flesh part. I said flesh. Ooh, when you think about animal flesh or fish flesh, I'm just putting it there. Go ahead, Dr.
Well, let me start here. If you were a true carnivore or an omnivore, because an omnivore also does meat and also plant, but at the same time, they're designed a certain way. But remember this, when they go after their prey, they are not barbecuing their prey. They are not cooking their prey. They are not frying their prey. You see what I'm saying? They're eating the live prey because they're looking for the live enzymes. They're looking for the live nutrients. So if you're cooking it, you're not even a proper carnivore. You see, you're killing even the nutrients that the carnivores are actually going after when they go to eat the prey. And the reason that carnivores are going after herbivores is because carnivores do not have the plant enzymes to break down plant food. Let me say that again. Carnivores don't have plant enzymes to break down plant food, so they have to go after the ones who have the enzymes, which are the herbivores. If we are herbivores by nature and we have the enzymes to break down plant food, then now the question is, why are we eating other animals? Because it's been taught.
It's been taught. Misinterpretation. It's, you know, the sacrifice on the altar was cooked, right? But not to eat necessarily.
Right.
Let me just say that maybe the Seder or, you know, but we got to look at the context. And I'm not going to go too deep, but I want y'all to think about that. Like, when did meat cooking animals or meat come into play? I just really want to think about that. But anyway, let me move a little forward. That's a rhetorical question.
Right.
How would a 60-year-old male with diabetes benefit from the 21-day cleanse? He's not trying to lose weight.
He don't want to lose weight. Well, no, you won't be losing weight, but you will be losing waste. And there is no way to have one without the other. If you want to lose waste, no, let's say this. If you want to get well, if you want to restore balance, you have to be willing to make some sacrifices. And I tell people your success is in direct proportion to what you're willing to sacrifice. If you're not willing to make the sacrifice in the weight, then you're not ready to start the cleanse. Then don't start it yet. See, we got to get raw with you now because we don't have time to play. Life is on the line. People are dying every day. And somehow we have to work to bring those statistics down, because at some point it's going to hit your family. Then now you're going to say, man, I should have made that sacrifice a long time ago. I should have been the sacrificial lamb. When you become the sacrificial lamb, then the angel of death will pass over your house and your family's house into the next house. So you have to clean your blood. And what are we seeing on the scan? We're seeing polluted blood, thick blood, blood with plaque in it. That means that you're not even a worthy sacrifice unto God, which is your reasonable service. It says, be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed to the SAD diet, the standard American diet. Be not conformed to that world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What mind is that? It's the mind that the program for the SAD diet is living in, which is the subconscious mind. You have to renew that mind, which is the same mind which was also in Christ Jesus, right? I'm going biblical here so you can understand the science of what we're talking about. Because once you understand it, you realize that there is no being lukewarm. Either you're going to go into it or you're going to stay away from it until you're ready. When you're ready and you go into it, now you're going to have the success you need. But if you're not ready, then when you go into it, you might not complete it because you didn't have a strong conviction towards it yet.
Right.
Unfortunately, Willie, Frat, a lot of people now, a lot of the baby boomers are at the point where they're ready for change. They've dealt with all of this stuff. So they're like, hey, I'm ready. So as soon as it came to them, they're like, hey, you ain't got to convince me of this. I'm on the road.
That's true. And then you know what? And you bring up a good point because baby boomers are seasoned enough. I'm gonna use that word. They're seasoned enough to have seen some things over time, have dealt with some things with their body over time that most say maybe people our generation, we still be, we got 20 more years, we got 30 more years.
Right.
But pay attention, the years are being cut short, you all, because of the choices that we are making.
Mhm.
And when you look at, if we really dug down and asked ourselves, why is the outcome different for us not living in this 60-year-old man? Let me say, why is the outcome where people aren't living to 60? Why is the outcome? And it's just not due to gun violence. When you look at the top killers in the world, the top killers in the world is, and I'm saying this very loosely, it's not gun violence, it's diabetes, it's strokes, right? High blood pressure, cirrhosis of the liver, right? These are some of the top killers, right? Alzheimer's. So when we do our research and why is it that in 2020 to 2022 versus when we look way back when, it wasn't like that. So when you look at the generations and you look at the age, we have to learn. We've been committing suicide. That's why I keep it up behind my screen whenever I'm talking to a crowd. We've been committing suicide, not suicide, not homicide, right? Not any of the sides, but now it's suicide. So Dr. Eric always speaks about, do me a favor and speak about chronological age versus ourselves.
Okay. So, but to answer your question too, yeah, I saw a question down there. We're not forcing anyone to go vegan or vegetarian. We're giving you the information so that you can make the decision. Because at the end of the day, everyone has that threshold of pain that they have to go through before they're willing to make a change. Some people haven't gotten there yet. So we're talking to people. I got people now that's been listening to me, observing me, watching me for years. And now they're coming off the fence. I didn't even know they were watching me until they said, yeah, I've been looking at your stuff 6 years ago. They was waiting. They was trying to see if what I was talking about was consistent, or was I persevering, or my momentum was gonna stay on a high vibration. We're waiting for people to fall. We have to look to help each other and keep each other up, because out here, if we're going up against a system, and remember, Jesus said a system divided against itself cannot stand. So that means that everything in the system is going to seek to try to destroy that which is going to tear down the system. But remember, Jesus said, think not that I come to bring peace on earth. Nay, I come to bring a sword, which is division. I came to set at variance a mother against her daughter, father against her son, which your enemies become they of your own household. So when I started to make the changes I needed to make, my family kind of pushed me away. My friends pushed me away. I wasn't invited anymore to the cookouts, the barbecues and all that. But I was okay because I was willing to go through that in order to get something that God had for me to send back to the people. And so when I discovered that you can slow down the aging process, then I found out you can reverse it. That's where I wanted to stay. I wanted to stay and try to work on reversing my age, because who wants to get to 70 and stay at 70? What if you can get to 70 and go back to 20? Well, the truth is that's the truth. You can. This is not some miraculous information. This is actually information, ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge that has always been on the planet, but it's been kept from you. That's why they call it a secret, right? It's been kept secret from you. But he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. When they say 1,000 shall fall by thy side, 10,000 by thy right hand, but it shall not come near you. Once you come into the fold of things, once you start to reverse your biological age, which is connected to how long it takes your human body to fully regenerate, and that takes anywhere from 10 to 15 years. 10 years, it takes your skeletal system. 15, believe it or not, 15, the gastrointestinal lining takes longer because it's open to the environment. It's an open track from off to your anus. That's why it's lined with mucus in order to protect your mucous membrane. But here's the problem, is that within that time frame, it's the environment that the cells are in that's accumulating more and more toxic waste. So we have somehow, Mooney, they call it a syllogism. A syllogism, you learn this in philosophy. Syllogism is when you take two premises and come with a conclusion. We naturally took two premises. We said, well, as the earth rotates around the sun, which is 360 days, I'm getting older, and as the waste in our body accumulates, I'm seeing change. So we're seeing change based upon the rotation of earth, and we think that they're associated, and they're not. The changes in our body can be reversed because that's biological age. But the rotation of the earth, that just keeps on going. But you don't have to be any more connected to chronological time, which means now your paradigm, how you see the world, is starting to shift. That's where the first healing has to take place. If the whole head is sick, the body is going to be sick. You got to heal the perception, because what we know now with epigenetics is that perception controls your biology. So if you perceive something, whether it's true or not, your body will react to it as if it is true because you believe it. So we're helping to correct the belief system. When we correct the belief system, then we clean out the temple. Once you clean out the temple, then now the organs can start to function on a higher frequency, and they can get back to how they were functioning when you was in college. And that's why I won the world championship at a record and a time that I hadn't run since college, because I proved that you can literally reverse your biological age.
Love it. Pretty deep. Couple things going through my mind, but I want to get through some of the questions because I know there are some people who don't know, and we perish because of lack of knowledge. So I love this space that we're able to educate and inform, and I think that's a great place to start. Valerie Jackson asks, how can a pregnant woman take part in a 21-day cleanse? I would say no. Dr. Eric?
Right. Well, here's the thing you don't know is that you're already going through a cleanse. As soon as the baby is conceived, your body starts detoxing itself. That's why women wind up with eclampsia. Eclampsia is toxicity of the blood. That means toxins in your body is starting to go back into the blood for the sake of preserving the baby and keeping that baby growing without any interruption and poisons going into her system. So the baby is causing the woman to detox. That's why you get swelling of the hands or swelling of the feet. Sometimes it can be close to fatal if your body is real toxic. And this is why Sharon talks about what you do before pregnancy, not once you get into it. Because if you prepare for the offspring before and you start detoxing your body before pregnancy, then man, that pregnancy will be smooth as butter. And I know that for a fact because my son Aviel Zion Prince was born from a woman in her 40s as if she was in her 20s. And the first son that she had, she wound up coding on the table because he was so heavy. He was like 10 pounds. So she couldn't push him out without bleeding out. Because of the meat and all the food she was eating, it was causing the baby to grow too fast in her womb. And she was so heavy that she couldn't push it. So once she started detoxing, she delivered our son as a vegan. Which means she had all the nutrients, she had everything she needed, nothing in abundance, but just in the right amount. And even though those doctors who knew her experience from Rush Hospital back in 2006 with her first son, they showed back up for the second son. They thought that it was going to be another trauma, but they were disappointed. They walked out of there with their heads down because they had no idea that something different was going to happen in this person's life. She created new habits, and that's what you got to do.
I love it. Let me make this statement, and I'm looking at the comments. So let me be real with you all, a little more real. I love meat. I mean, I'm gonna just be like, I love the taste of it. I love lobster. I love chicken, jerk chicken. I'm going to Jamaica. I love it, right? This is the part that I don't like, that I had to cut my relationship with that love, right? Is that love wasn't treat me good. That love wasn't treat me fairly, and that love wasn't treat me right. And most times when I'm in a relationship and I'm not being treated right, I ain't going back to you. It's over. It's a wrap. And I think a lot of times we try to And this is a natural response where we try to stay in relationships with things or people that don't do us right. And why do we do that? That's a problem with our subconscious mind. So now is the time to identify. See, meat or you have been cheating on yourself. And this is two ways we've been cheating on ourselves: by not knowing who we're dating. That's one way. One way is, and let me say it this way, you didn't know that not eating according to your blood type was going to be suicidal to you, to your life. So we're speaking right now against two things. And this is, I'm coming from this perspective because I love that God gives me it. I'm speaking against everything that's going to do you harm. That means not eating according to your blood type. If you're blood type A, I don't want to see you hurt or crying or in the hospital because whoever you've been cheating on or that whatever been cheating on, the meat is going to put you there, or not according to your blood type. It's going to do you some harm. And on the same token, is with some people, O's, we probably say, you could probably bounce back real quick for that bad relationship with meat because you just used to it. you know, you got a tolerance for bad relationships with the meat because it's in your DNA to deal with this bad relationship. But I'm saying eventually it's gonna catch up with you.
Mm-hmm. And
let me say, you don't have to live that way. There's there's somebody else out here better for you or something else. So I'm just saying, when you look at the what we defend and what we want to hold on to, why is it, this is rhetorical, why is it that we want to hold on or go back to what's doing us bad? That's a mindset. And I'm saying that because Eric teaches us about the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind of making the decision and just moving right along. So let me jump right into the next. I've understood that there are certain proteins. This is a good one. I've understood that there are certain proteins that are in certain meats, right, that do the body some good, right? Not eating meat. So is it okay to eat meat occasionally?
Well, once again, I'm not going to subscribe to trying to give you something that should make you feel good. I don't want you to feel good. I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to be upset, irritated, and mad at me because I'm telling you the truth, because there are people that are lying to you and they're smiling in your face and you're dying because of it. So if I tell you the truth and you hate me for it, then at some point you're going to realize that, man, he really loved me. And that's what you got to understand, is that I come to tell you the truth. In fact, I was on the air today, 106.3, and AC Green and I have made a pledge to start to work to eradicate kidney failure and get rid of these dialysis places. That's what we're going into now, partnership. And I've been working with him since 2013, and I'm glad he's opening up his platform so we can do that. But here's the problem. We got to tell people the truth. I met AC at a convention. It was a daycare providers convention because my clients were daycare providers and they wanted me to speak. Well, when I got up to speak, and AC told this story on the air, when I got up to speak, everybody was about to eat. And I thought to myself, I said, should I curve what I need to say because they're about to eat? Because I don't want them feeling bad and throwing stuff at me. And then I said to myself, nope, I didn't come here to make them feel good. I didn't come here to talk about something smooth. I came here to save lives. And let me tell you, I said exactly what I needed to say while they were eating this very food that I told them was killing them, as they were putting it in their mouth. As they yet chewed, the wrath of God will come down upon us because of that. And that's Numbers chapter 11. If you get a chance, go read Numbers chapter 11. But here's the thing, is that I didn't curve my conversation, because if I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth, even if you hate me for it. And the truth is that we do need protein. Let me say that. But we don't need animal protein. The human body operates with 20 amino acids, but you need 9 of those amino acids from your diet. They call it 9 essential amino acids. The 9 essential amino acids are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and valine. These are the 9 amino acids that you need from the food you eat. Believe it or not, a banana has all of these amino acids. Also, a chicken breast has all of these amino acids. Now ask yourself, if I eat the banana as opposed to the chicken breast, which one is going to assimilate better into my body, and how much energy am I going to expend eating the banana and breaking down as opposed to eating the chicken breast? You see, you have to start to look at the facts here. It's going to take me more energy to break down that chicken breast, and the consequence is that my body's temperature is lower than the heavier animal. So my body has to try to break down their proteins, break down their oils, and that's when it becomes sludge in our system. Whereas fish, let's take fish. If you eat fish, that's a good compromise for now. Fish have a lower body temperature, which means when you eat fish, their body temperature is lower, which means your body is sufficient of breaking down their proteins and breaking down their oils, which is why you see fish oil in the health food store. You don't see chicken oil in the health food store. You see chicken oil in Jewel and Dominick's. So that's why it's important for us to give you the facts, because if we give you the facts, see, that chicken is on trial. We need to see if we got to convict them or not, or to make them free. But right now, like Mooney was said, we have a relationship with them because there's an addiction. But it's not just a simple addiction, it's a chemical addiction. So the chemical in our brain is what's feeding us now. So even if we decide we want to let go of meat, it's hard because the chemical is still reaching out to us and it's saying, hey, get you some meat, get you some meat. That's why you have to detox, because you are what you eat. When you start flushing that chemical out of your system, the meat substances out of your system, then you stop craving it. You stop desiring it and you start craving the good stuff. And that's how you change your habits, and that's how you change your traditions.
I love it. Now let me, so look, the day before Memorial Day, right? Now this is, let's make this clear, you all. I and Eric have been knowing each other for almost 30 years, probably over 30 years now. And he would show up where he on this side, he on this side. He would show up, right, doing the fraternity barbecues, right? Walk up looking young, no, nobody care about that. Then be like, oh, y'all finna, man, look, ain't nobody trying to hear nothing you have to say about not eating meat. Like, just go on here. So reason I bring that up is the lack of knowledge is what caused, but we've watched so many people, and I'm just blessed to not be in that pool of people, that by not listening to this guy right here, right, we've watched so many people compromise themselves, minimum, like I said, by not eating according to your blood type and not understanding the outcome of what happens when you redundantly eat meat, and you've been eating it for so long that you don't even know what the inside of your body looks like right now, although you're not seeing symptoms, or you think you're not seeing the symptoms because you're not aware of them. This is why we speak hard and I forward against changing your lifestyle and getting the answers and getting the knowledge and giving you the understanding of where did it come from. I didn't have that. Most people on here, the reason I said it is because it's tomorrow. You probably got that sandwich in. You probably like this right now. But I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you the truth, the transparent truth. I wasn't trying to be a vegan. That wasn't my goal. So the natural resistance in me was, dude, we're not trying to do that. Not today. You may be feeling the same way. I can relate. However, don't ignore the information. Please don't. So there's a question here, Eric. How often can I have a colonic after a 21-day cleanse? And go into detail as far as, even if a person is doing a colonic, right, what else should they be doing? So 2-part question. Go ahead.
Got you. Well, I do recommend colonics after the cleanse. You may not necessarily need it right after cleanse, because the colonic you do after the cleanse is not to clear waste out of your intestines, not to clear waste out of your stomach and large intestine. That's going to be done during the cleanse. Your purpose for the colonic is to stimulate peristalsis in your gastrointestinal tract. Peristalsis is the muscle contraction that moves the food through your system from your mouth all the way to your anus. Over time, that muscle contraction becomes weak, and now the food isn't moving, so you have what's called slow digestion, slow elimination. But the question is, if it's slow may not be the bad, but if your consumption doesn't slow down, then that means that something is about to be off. That means that your elimination slows down, but your consumption is not. At some point, all of that stuff backs up into your organs. So when you do the colonic, think about stimulating that muscle contraction. But remember this as well, you also have gut bacteria. When you finish the cleanse, you've cleaned out everybody. You've cleaned out the good bacteria, you've cleaned out the bad bacteria, you just cleaned house. Right. So now we recommend that start on probiotics. That's the healthy bacteria you want to start. It can be capsule, it can be fermented food. I do kimchi, so I do kimchi a lot with some of my food. That's like my balance. When you kimchi has enzymes, it has probiotics in it, kimchi. and it tastes great, right? We do vegan yogurt, which also has culture in it. Anything with cultures in it that's not dairy, dairy yogurt, of course, has culture in it. So you got the good with the bad. Now, you don't want the good and the bad. You want the all good. If you're gonna eat yogurt, might as well eat yogurt without the dairy, because the dairy makes your body acidic. So you wanna first start to repopulate your gut, repopulate your colon. Why? Because 70% of your immune system is where? It's in your colon. 70% is a C average. You can get through college with a C average. So what I'm saying is this, is that once you come off the cleanse, first start to repopulate your gut. And then at some point, maybe 3 months down the line, do your colonic, and then follow the recommendations of the hydrocolon therapist. But every time you do a colonic, you're still repopulating with the gut bacteria. What you're doing is you're healing your gastrointestinal lining over time, and you're also resetting your immune system.
I love this question. This next question is there any is there any blood type that can eat meat? And let me go in on that one, then you can go ahead.
Okay.
So that's an excellent question, and I'm gonna answer it this way. Any blood type can eat meat. And there is a blood type O, that probably, listen to my words, can tolerate meat because of the stomach acid and breaking it down and being the original O's, can tolerate meat, you want to tolerate a bad relationship? There you go. Right. Tolerate meat better than blood type A, blood type B, and blood type AB. Should you have it? No. Exactly. Now, Eric, you're
absolutely right. Well, that's the reason that we went plant-based for your blood type. Because if we'd have just said eating for your blood type, then everybody would have went to the book and said, "Oh, O's can eat all this meat." No, we had to specify, and I think that was the beauty of the whole program, was that when she said plant-based for your blood type, it described my life. But I had not put it in words. So I was grateful for that term, plant-based for your blood type, because that's where we need to be. It doesn't matter how many meats that O can eat, because at the end of the day, O may die a little bit later than blood type A, but it's inevitable. What I discovered, and this is my own experience and my own evaluation and research, is that everyone that eats meat, everyone is moving towards heart disease. Everyone.
True. That's what we're seeing.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not about, okay, I may or may not get it. No, it's about when you're gonna get it. It's now, when. And so now, if you're blood type O, you might not get it before someone who's blood type A or blood type B or AB, but you're still running the same race. It's just that the blood type O is gonna come in last.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So let me you know what? This is awesome. We use wild analogies, and only because we try to keep it real. Or Eric and I believe that we've been gifted, as well as Melissa, the founder. A lot of people have been gifted with using certain things so that the average person, whether it's a baby boomer, whether it's a millennial, whether you're in corporate America, whether you work in for the garbage man, right? On the garbage truck. We like to give it to you where you can understand it. So I love the fact that Pepper, I'm glad that you got it. That is something that it is to think about, right? Having a tolerance is different, right? Than like tolerating somebody is different from being in the place that you want to be in, right? So much different. So I'm glad that you got that. And let me say this. Let's think of, for those who, and I'm putting this out here because I was once there and I'm still there. Let's say, like, I love lamb. I love sacrificing a lamb, y'all. I love it. I love it. I love it. But, and my blood type says that I can have it. My blood type says that I can have scallops. After my reset, though, what I looked at was, now, do I want this lamb every day because it just tastes so good? Right? Do I want to indulge in that every day? The answer to that was no, because I knew the outcome. And I've already had my outcome. I had my reset. But let me just throw this out here, because I want us to think like this. But Seder comes along, Ramadan, and I'm saying these words for a reason, right? 3 months down, 6 months, all right? Or there's a celebration coming in, like Jesus bought the wine, right? Wasn't something that he was indulging in every day, but it was okay. We want to celebrate. Maybe then you would have built your immune system or got rid of the plaque in the arteries, and the liver is not fatty anymore, and the kidneys are not damaged. Or you say just for the taste, because then that's all it is. Just for the taste, maybe. I'm just saying, Eric, just in case, I'm going to put, just for the taste, let me see how I may just, like, I'm going to Jamaica. I'm thinking jerk chicken. I may, but the real benefit, let me tell you what I have to say to myself, is if I know what jerk chicken is going to do. If I taste it, just to see what it tastes like out of Jamaica, Jamaica is the jerk chicken capital. I'm not doing it on the first day of my trip. I'm going to do it on the last day. Why? Because I'm already anticipating I might get sick. This might be a bad experience. So if I already know that, it's just a decision, a conscious decision that I'm going to make over my subconscious mind that's still saying it wants chicken. All right. So let's see what else we have here. There's a mortality, eat meat because they see what, meat. Pregnant at the moment, need protein. Let me go back. Is the meat the reason why our digest systems are off? Ooh, that's good. What are some substitutes to meats? Pregnant at the moment and need protein. Go ahead, girl. I love that. I'm not going to say no names. Eric, chime in on that. Is the meat the reason why our digestive systems are off? What are some of the substitutes to meat?
Okay, so two parts to the first part.
Okay.
Yes, think about it. In the beginning, when we were living hundreds of years, according to scripture, we were living centuries. Now we're not living decades. So the question is, okay, why? Even if you look at the Bible and you don't go past the first 5 books, you will see that after the Great Flood, you didn't hear about people living 600, 700, 800 years anymore. The lifespan of man began to shorten. Why? Because once you put animal protein on the table, which was the third meat, the first meat was fruit, the second meat was vegetables, the third meat was animal protein. Animal protein was not our first meat. It's just somehow we took the word meat away from fruits and we took it away from vegetables. But once animal protein got on the table, the body became more acidic. Mm-hmm. And as the body became more acidic, that means that now the acid, which corrodes the lining, started to cause things like diverticulitis, colitis, gastritis. All these things that are affecting your gastrointestinal lining is what's caused by excessive amounts of acid in the system. When meat breaks down, it turns into urea. Urea turns into uric acid. Mm-hmm. So the acid in our body has accumulated to the point where it's zapping our alkalinity. See, our diet should be 80% alkaline, 20% acidic. That's how you live a long life, because that way you'll stay ahead of the degeneration. But when you consume too much meat and you're not cleaning yourself out, and now I got to talk about that too, when you're not cleaning yourself out, then your body becomes more acidic and you start to die like that battery. Because when you first buy that battery, just like when you come into the world, you're like a brand new battery, nice and pure alkalinity. And then once you start eating that meat, that alkalinity tries to neutralize it for as long as it can. But then at some point, now the acidity starts to take over. And we see that on the scan. So we're not speculating here. We're showing you what we've been seeing year after year after year in our community. So we have the facts now. We have the data. So now we have the information to help people to see the truth that what you're eating is actually killing you. Now, check this out. Let's say, well, some people may ask, well, if I cleanse all the time, can I still, occasionally eat meat if I'm cleaning myself out and resetting myself? And like you said, yeah, you may want to, which is not a problem. It's just your choice. I'm not subscribing to it. You're a grown person. But check this out. The more you cleanse, you start to lose the desire to even consume stuff like that. So you may think before you do it that you want to eat afterwards, but no, that's not going to happen. And let me tell you something. My mom for years was a pescatarian. One night, she wanted to hang out with her girlfriend who made this good old smoked smothered chicken. And she thought she was going to take it. She thought she'd eat it. She ate some of it. The next day she called me because she had to go to the hospital. And she went to the hospital. She got tests run and the doctor said, there's nothing wrong with you. She said, no, I know what happened. She said, I know what happened. And she finally came clean. She wasn't going to tell me.
Clean.
She
She
wasn't going to tell me she ate that chicken. But that's why I say, Willie, she reached that moment. She reached her threshold.
And then check this out. And let me say it this way. I'm practical sometimes. Like, who like to play the game of craps? You just keep rolling the dice until you crap out. I hated the game red light, green light. Like stop and go, stop and go. I hated that game. Like, why gamble? And these are all rhetorical. My job is to just make sure it gets in here, right? Why play Russian roulette? Why allow somebody, and Melissa gave you all some concrete, why allow somebody to deal you the cards and then you flip it over and now you have the truth in your hand, but you say, I'm losing, I've lost, but I still want to play. No, just stop playing. Somebody asked, well, what's the difference between the 21-day cleanse? And this is another problem in the community, but I'm glad that this question was asked. It's amazing. What's the difference between the 21-day cleanse and the colonic? Man, 21-day cleanse, and I know Eric is going to expound on this. I think that's why I don't use the word cleanse. That's why I use the word reset. Now, this is me saying this. But when you look at the cleanse or the reset that we're offering, that Dr. Prince has introduced us to, that's the whole body. We're talking about the liver. We're talking about the kidneys. We're talking about the arteries. We're talking about your whole waste management system, right? You know how if in the house, we ain't just talking about the bathroom and getting the bathroom pipes cleaned out. No, we talking about your whole house. And it's clogged because water, blood, and everything, well, I'm using an analogy, has been running through your whole temple, your whole place of peace, your house, and it's all dirty. When we talk about just the bathroom, the colonic, that's just your colon. That's not what we're talking about. Go ahead, Dr. Eric.
And also, Moody's right. The actual cleanse, flush, detoxification process, it's about putting things simultaneously into motion. Because remember, detoxification is one of the most energy consuming processes in the body. So as soon as you start to put your body in that state, even with a colonic, your body's going to start to rev up. And that means that it's going to require more vitamins and more minerals in order to churn that machine. If you're not flooding your body with nutrition, if you're not cleaning out the mucus, if you're not killing the parasites, then even if you're flushing out the waste, you're throwing yourself into a greater deficiency, which is going to cause even more disease and illness in your body. You have to do stuff simultaneously so that the body can kind of balance the ratio. Because if you do, let's say, just a liver cleanse, then the toxins from the liver will go into the kidneys. If you do just a kidney cleanse, then now the toxins coming out of the kidneys is going to be caught by the liver. That's why you clean the body simultaneously. That's why people come off diabetes medication, blood pressure go down, weight comes off. Everything's happening together because the body is now reversing in its process. So you didn't do one thing at a time on the way to where you are. So you do everything simultaneously on the way back to where you got to be. And there was a second part to that last question, types of protein. So I'm gonna read a few of the plant-based proteins that are just common. One is tofu. Some people like it, some people don't. Tempeh, edamame, you've heard of that. Lentils is a good plant-based protein. Chickpeas is a good plant-based protein. Peanuts, depending on your blood type. Almonds, spirulina, which is actually in, I think we got chlorella in our superfood, but it's still in the family of spirulina, but it's powerful. Quinoa, and believe it or not, quinoa has all of the essential amino acids in order to create protein in the body. See, the thing is, we don't need a complete protein, which is a chicken breast or a steak. We need the amino acids from our diet and let your body synthesize whatever protein it needs in order to repair the damage. So if you're eating meat, which is a complete protein, and you're having problems breaking down the meat to get to the amino acids, which takes a lot of energy, then let me ask you this. What is your body going to use to repair your kidneys if you're on dialysis, or to repair your heart, or to repair your liver? Now the whole meaning of breaking down the complete protein to get to the building blocks is now out of the window, because you need the building blocks to repair. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
Because of what we've been, we think that because of really a sub program that was written, you know, and I want to compel, and I put it in the chat. Please take a look at the documentary on YouTube called The Game Changers. That's an excellent documentary where if you ever question protein and meat protein or plant-based protein, if you've ever questioned it, that's a documentary that we need to look at, because we have been programmed, especially men. We've been programmed that if you don't eat meat, you're a wimp. He gonna whoop your tail. But as strong as an ox, right? Like I'm right now as strong as an ox, and the ox don't eat meat.
Right. And I tell people, if you want to run like a horse, you got to eat like a horse.
Yeah. So there's so many negative connotations that have been put with plant-based or with eating vegetable, or you a punk, you eating all that little punk food, whatever the case may be. But I tell you, I bet you won't mess with a gorilla. I bet you, I bet you with some animals that you may come in contact with in the jungle and they eat plant-based, you won't go near them. The fear of God will be in you, right? So with that being said, we have to get past the program. It is a program. And let me share personal experience. I don't even see I see a difference in not eating meat, but I'm as strong as an ox just from hemp proteins. And I'm not really, to be honest, I'm not focused on the protein. I don't even have to focus on it because I eat so many different things, kimchi, plants, just everything. Like I'm reading labels and I look, if it's plant-based, I look at the proteins. I'm not counting proteins. It's not that important to me like that. I know my body is strong. I know my muscles are strong. So just eating according to my blood type and eating plant-based is giving me everything that I need. And I haven't had chicken and I have turkey, none of that. So, and Benjamin Buttons is happening. You want to look younger. You want to feel younger. You don't want to chronologically age and looking like you. I know when myself and Eric, when we do show up in front of the fraternity brothers, they gonna look like, man, y'all looking like y'all back in college. Yeah, plant-based. Let me see. So why do it? The person. Okay, so we got about 2 more minutes. Shouldn't we discuss the 21-day cleanse with the doctor prior to using it? That's a good one, Pepper. I mean, I didn't mean to call you out by name, but I'm sarcastic. I'll let Eric answer that first. I'm not gonna be I want him to give you the real.
Okay. So here's the thing. You can do it if that makes you comfortable. And you can also do it if you feel like it's best that they know, because if you're on medication, then they may need to monitor it. But you got to understand this. They don't understand. Well, I'm not saying some of them do. Dr. Rita understands this process, but you don't have a lot of Dr. Ritas out there right now in the medical field that's willing to understand and re-educate themselves. So therefore, don't be surprised if they try to discourage you. Okay? I'm not saying expect it, but don't be surprised if you get discouraged by your medical doctor because he doesn't understand it. It's not his fault. He was just not taught about holistic health and nutrition in medical school. So at that point, you're going to have to make a decision. Well, my medical doctor is telling me, well, I probably shouldn't do it because those fruits and vegetables are going to kill me. No, it's not the fruits and vegetables that's going to kill you. It's the toxicity in your body that's going to show up when you start putting the good stuff in. Because as soon as you start detoxing, Herxheimer is going to show up. He's going to say, hey, here's some nausea, here's some vomiting, and you're going to go to the doctor. He's not going to understand that because he was not taught that these were signs of healing. Mm-hmm. He was taught that these were signs of disease. You get it? So he has to change his whole program, and he paid a lot of money for that program. So don't expect him to be able to just do a quick 360 and say, oh, okay, yeah, I think you should do it. Some of them may do that, but at the same time, some of them may not. But ask him, let him know that you are going to go on it. So at least you can become his teacher, because maybe he needs to see your testimony as well. Because see, once you see where you were and where you are and what you did, guess what? You just helped the doctor to become re-educated. And that's one of the ways.
All right, I love it. And host, can you please stop the sharing of the screen for Samsung SM? One last question is, I see one statement that's at the bottom of the screen. And the statement is, well, let me address it like this. I wish that I had, when I was going through chemo, radiation, cancer, leukemia, more options, right? At the time in which sometimes we're not presented with all the right options so that we can, or a lot of options, right? And the education behind them, the experience behind them, the proof behind them, so that we can make a wise decision. The Bible says, seek out wise counsel. So I think that before you come to the conclusion to halt anything, right? Halt any medications or anything like that, that you should seek wise counsel. And of course, it's a personal choice, right? So you won't hear us say, stop this, start this. You will hear us say that if you're on the medications, and Dr. Eric will say, even if it's blood thinner, right? Or right, taking medication for blood, what is it? High blood pressure.
Okay, yeah.
Right? You're going to, what we know is your blood pressure is going to start being affected in a positive way, right, by our process. It's important for you to monitor it so that you can make a decision. Do you want to talk to the doctor about, hey, maybe we need to consider, because I'm going this route. Maybe we need to consider you taking me off the blood type meds so we can look at how I do well on my own with this natural stuff, right? I wish I would have had the opportunity, you all, if cannabis wasn't categorized, or if the knowledge was like it is, and I'm going to say it this way. I wish I would have had the knowledge. you probably would have saw me in college smoking some, back in the day, calling it reefer. Right? But this is, I want you all to look at this, and then I guess we can go. I see one more question. Is that because we have not been informed, and now we're coming to this enlightenment that we didn't have before, people are making different choices, better choices, right? And the industries that's kept us compromised to one choice or one thing, now you're seeing these industries fall and they're colliding and they don't like it. So you have to use, and we're put here to inspire you, motivate you, and educate you so that you can now take the information and do something with it. And prayerfully, you'll be wise with it as well. Where can we get the list of plant-based foods that Dr. Prince mentioned earlier? Research. I'm gonna say no. I'm just go ahead. You got any?
Well, you know what? The easiest way is just, all you got to do is go to your phone, Google plant-based protein. That's really all you got to do. It's going to give you a list, because that's all I just did. I mean, there's a lot more. So go in and do your research and start. And when you do that research, when you make that list, start to cross-reference it with what? Your blood type list. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. This is how you now sit down as a scientist of your body, and you start to put in your body what's going to keep it running on a regular basis. And let me say this last thing, Mooney, is that, let me ask a question. Do you want to see the world change? Do you want to see change in the world? Because see, now we got to see what your why really is, because we're asking these questions and you're trying to get us to sort of subscribe to you eating a little meat, you eating a little meat here, a little meat there. But let me ask this: do you want the world to change? Are you content with what's going on in the world, with our health, with the healthcare? If you're not content, as Mooney just said, and he sparked the revelation, there is more light coming into the planet now. Mm-hmm. Guess who it's coming through? It's coming through us. That's right. So if you become a portal through which this light comes through, this light is going to shine on everybody, and it's going to illuminate the darknesses and the ignorances. And that's what's going to change the world. So it's not just about what you want to do or what you were taught in tradition or what tastes good to you. No, look bigger, become bigger. Don't stay small. If you want the world to change and you want to be a part of the answer and not the problem, then become the portal, become the channel through which God's light can come in and shine on everybody, as I've been shining on you guys. That's you right. See, let your light shine.
Now, I want to give acknowledgement to, I've never seen the name before, but whoever Pepper is, I want to give acknowledgement to you, because your questions have been excellent. And I'm sure, and for me, Eve, they're questions that engaged us to actually speak the truth and to get people out some information that most people would not have asked those questions. So thank you so much. So you all, with that being said, enjoy this weekend. Reverence those who, the reason for this weekend, right? Really reverence that, give honor to that. At the same time, celebrate, enjoy your loved ones, and enjoy family. And let's look forward to prosperity, great health, and wellness. Let's really look at that and embrace that, because now is the time to do so, right? With everything that we've, in the past 2 years, have been through, and we get a day or a weekend like this one, it's time to look at things a little differently. So with that being said, love you all.
Mooney, real quick, there is a question about coming off chemo.
We answered it. Yeah. So
well, let me say that. Let me tap in on, because I know I didn't get a chance, and I know Sharon had kind of showed me about that question. So this is a serious question. I want to just chime in on it. We can't tell you to come off chemo. We can't do that. You have to make that decision yourself.
No,
because
it's my choice.
It has to be your conviction. It has to be by your faith. We're going to give you everything you need to know to make the decision. And once you make it, we'll support whatever decision you make. If it's to stay on, hey, we're going to make sure you detox when you come off. If you decide to come off, we're going to make sure you detox and get your immune system stronger. But just know this: chemo and radiation does not eradicate cancer. The only cure to cancer is your immune system. chemo and radiation destroys your immune system, point blank.
All right, you all. With that being said, peace out and have a wonderful weekend. God bless.
God bless you guys.
Mooney and Sharon.
Great.
Peace out.
Thank you for being you. Appreciate you more and more every time.
Thank you. What a tag team.
Thank
Stay
you.
focused. Enjoy your lives.
Thank you.
Awesome meeting and presentation.
Always and forever.
Thank you, Dr. Prince. Thank you, Minister Mooney.
Continued health and wealth.